Hello. Yeah. Sit up.
We're done with the meeting. But it's okay. I'll be with it. Just pull up close.
Okay, meet out here. Meet out here.
Whatever you guys said up there, say the same thing here in like 1 minute. Or 2 minutes.
Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Check 1 2. Testing.
I will ask what is the beef today. Hey, send me the slug on this. I don't think I have it. Thanks. I'll get back. You're the pool. Really? Yeah, you're feeding it back live to us. I don't know why I'm here.
Stand in the center with this.
Let's give just a few minutes though, just because it's only what time is it? 11:02. Just give like maybe like 10 minutes. Let me know if you want to do any B-roll or anything. Thanks for coming.
Hey, what's up? Do you
Appreciate
need a mic stand?
You know what?
No, you're going to do that. That's okay. You got to do
Yeah. Take, Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate that. And he's just supposed to show up too.
Well, he's pulling it out to the other stations.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, we're seeing it on his camera too. So.
Pamela, can you do a sound check? Are you level? Go ahead and speak. Is it turned on?
It's on.
Testing 1 2.
Oh, we're gonna put it way up there? Okay. Lipstick like that.
Oh, wait, do you want to wait for channel 2? Yeah, that's, well, I told him to give us like 10 minutes. Just
I know I'm gonna find the cheese, though, right?
yeah. And just make sure you hold the mic close to your mouth. And don't be afraid to just. This is the time to show
Get
your
mad.
passion.
Get mad.
Yeah, get mad, get focused, just be you. Speak to your wheelhouse, what you know. This is not a competition, it's about you being you, and they need to feel you. Right?
Let's just focus on the victims and not our particular circumstances.
Yeah.
Just whatever what you say.
Yeah, just we'll do an overall thing.
You guys want a chance to get this going? Recall price.
Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Rico Price. Rico Price. Rico Price. Rico Price. Rico Price. Rico Price.
Okay, we could say justice for victims. Okay?
Justice for victims. 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 Justice for victims.
Okay. You just said something else like save our businesses. Right? You want to talk? Okay, go. Yeah, no, you get inside. Yeah, no, it's just a little.
But go ahead and amplify that way when you watch your videos. What's another channel? Go ahead and what's another channel? The business system. The business system.
We don't get no justice, they get no peace.
No justice.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Recall Pamela Price. 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 Recall Pamela Price.
Justice for Jasper.
Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. Justice for Jasper.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And Brittany Grisham here, she's the leader of the Recall and Price project here that we're the campaign. So, there you go, Brittany.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Grisham, and I am one of the primary officers in the Recall Pamela Price recall efforts. And today we are here at the supervisors meeting. We spoke on the changes that they're trying to amend the recall in our charters, which is unfair to the families, it's unfair to the community, it's unfair to all of those that want to see change. That is violating our constitutional rights. When our petitions were approved, those were the rules. You cannot change the rules in the middle of the football game and think that's okay. We have to keep going in order to make our city safe. We don't have any type of, we don't trust any of our officials at this time. So do we need to add the board of supervisors to the list? The register of voters needs to be recalled as well. There is no way this should be coming up. We interacted with the register of voters before we even started the recall efforts. So this that came up, the amendment should have already been taken care of. It need be before we started. It will make a lot of changes that are unfair. We don't want to slow up the process. We are taxpayers as well, and if this is how we want to spend our taxpayers' money to make sure our city is safe, then that's what we're going to do. We don't need other people telling us what we're going to do with our money. We have families that have lost their children. We have business owners that have lost their businesses. We have people that have lost personal items in our city. We should have the whole city behind us. We want to see change. We want to see a better day. We want to see our men and women achieve things. We don't want everybody locked up, so that is just not the truth. We just want to see justice. We want them to be held accountable for their crimes. And in order to do that, we have to have a fair process. And right now, we don't feel that it is in the best interest to make any changes to what we have already started. So with that, I'm going to let a family member speak. Brenda Grisham. You want to spell it? BRENDAGRISHAM.
Nashida, Virginia, Nashida, Nishita. And I'm here today to ask the Board of Supervisors to not change the recall process. This recall needs to happen. I don't want anyone in my situation sitting there in court thinking that maybe these guys who are repeat offenders will be on the streets again. I do not want any family to go through what I am going through. And I welcome the public. Look up the cases, see your names, see the families, look up their cases, see how the outcomes are coming out. I welcome everybody to do that and see for yourself what Pamela Price and her type of justice with compassion to the criminals, not to the victims, Look at it, see for yourself, know the truth for yourself. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Love, also known as Navarro. I'm a targeted individual, and Pamela Price's office is part of the gang stalking against me. She's a civil rights lawyer who is violating my constitutional rights and all of yours. Why don't you ask her community liaison, Austin Bruckner, who I met at a Fremont Town Hall meeting last month, who has all the proof of how Sheriff Sanchez, Judge Alameda County Judge Morris Jacobson, parole agents Jonathan Simon, Cecilia Nunez, and many others, Deputy Bocanegra, Deputy Divine, who is now deceased, that's Sadie Divine, and how she was doing drugs and also stealing drugs from people that she was arresting or also in the county jail and giving it back to people. There's so much corruption and so much that there's too much for me to even say, but I have all the evidence, and Austin Bruckner has it, and I wrote a 14-page letter to Pamela Price just recently. I paid more to have her signature on it, and no one signed it, and she kept that letter, and she's never even responded to it. I'm asking you to demand answers.
Hi, my name is Patricia Harris, PATRICIAHARRIS, and I'm here because I was shocked. First off, that the Registrar of Voters is asking the council to do their job or to change what they've already put in place. Our son, Jaron Purvis, was murdered 3 years ago. Up until Pamela Price came into office, the person that murdered him was up on murder charges. Once she came in, it was changed to involuntary manslaughter. He was out of prison, not even prison, I'm sorry. He spent 2 years in Santa Rita jail, came out, no probation, no stripes, no involuntary manslaughter. He's out on the streets now, as if nothing happened. It's no different than if you ran a stop sign, and it's not fair. So our case is over, unfortunately, and I just cannot be okay with other people having to go through the same things that we have gone through. We have been told that the VA's office does not work for us when we ask. They don't work for us. That's what we were told. We were told that the person would be on probation. that did not happen. So everything we've been told has not been true. We have asked, I have requested, I have emailed, I have texted to meet with Pamela Price to understand how she was able to change 10 charges into 3 charges, and not of them murder, not of them gun enhancements. And she has refused to meet with us, to meet with my family. She has sent a letter saying she's busy with her budget and her staffing, and I don't understand how that is fair to the victims. I hear Marcy's Law. We're not getting that from the DA's office and the DA that is in here. So for the council to want to change what the registrar of voters has already put in place continues to be another injustice to the victims, to the families, to the business owners in Alameda County. Thank you.
Hello. Well, my name is Chris Moore, CHRISMOORE. I'm with the Coalition for Community Engagement here in Alameda County. It's extremely important that this recall move forward and it not be delayed by the Board of Supervisors nor the ROV, the Register of Voters. So any change they make, it must ensure that it moves as rapidly as possible forward. Why is that? People are dying in this community. There is one person dying every 3 days in Oakland. Every day Pamela Price stays in office, someone else dies. Someone else dies in our community. We have 1,000, 1,200 cars stolen per month in the city of Oakland alone. Every day, every month, Pamela Price stays in office, people lose their car, they lose their job, businesses close down. She needs to be recalled, and she needs to be recalled as quickly as possible to save our community. Not only Oakland, but all of Alameda County. Everybody wants her recalled. The Board of Supervisors should not be doing anything to delay the recall of Pamela Price. It needs to move forward and move forward with what we're doing as quickly as possible. Businesses are dying, people are dying. People get out there and sign those petitions because that's the only way we'll be able to save our community. Thank you.
Next speaking is Tuan. He is the founder of #Asians Unite.
I'm here to ask the community to take immediate action to head off the crime that is victimizing our entire city, our entire county, and is spreading by the day. Pamela Price says and boasts that she's charging all these criminals, 7,600 criminals, but that is not true. What she's misleading people is that she's failing to disclose that before she came into office, there were 25,000 cases that are charged annually. She's charging about 1/3 of what is normally charged. That means 2/3 of the criminals that should be locked up or loose on the streets. They're robbing people, they're stealing cars, they're burglarizing, and business is closing down. People are getting murdered. The same serial killers are targeting different families. We have the same serial killers killing people in Hayward, in Fremont, in Berkeley, and they're still loose in the streets. Would your family want to experience the same pain and suffering of these families that are here, that have murdered sons, daughters, and spouses? We need to take action now, and we need to vote to recall Pamela Price.
Everybody here. That's okay. Hello, everybody here. My name is Inle, spelled E-H-I-N-S, last name L-E. I'm part of Little Saigon community. I own a business there. And as I told everybody, I've been in jail for the last 3 years at my own business. I live in my own business. And a lot of my friends, business around Little Saigon, been breaking in not 1, 2, but sometimes 4, 5 times. And some of my friends business not been robbed like 5 times, but last few months like 10 times. No? and people get robbed on the street every day. Look like the criminal get the back bomb. They're back in them something. They don't care about the law. And the family with children, they don't want to come to my district no more to shop because why? They are literally naked girl walk the street. Walk the street. Like look like criminal is home in the street right now, and we need to do something. We need to recall Pamela Price to save Oakland, and not only Oakland but the whole county. Thank you so much.
As we said today, we came to address the issues, address the unfairness of the families, address the unfairness of the citizens of Alameda County, to speak to the supervisors to do their job. Let us be the one organization that we can trust in to make our city safer. We already have a lot going on. In Fremont, Pamela Price made a statement that by law, murderers are to get 25 years. Let's start there, Pamela Price. Let's see you give somebody 25 years for murdering somebody's son, daughter, husband, uncle. Let's see that. Let's make a change. Let's go back and get the young men and women that have been in prison for 25, 30 years. 3 strikes is no longer in effect. Selling an ounce of weed on the corner. Let them go home. That's how you fix the injustice. Those people have served with the injustice. Let them go home to their families, and they can be beneficial to saving our society. They can come back and they can work with the re-entry programs in order to get our youth to know that I've been there, I've done that, and that is not somewhere you want to be. We're hoping that everyone will come out and sign the petitions and support the families. Thank you.
All right. Next one. Thank you, sir.
Can we get some of the footage?
Oh man, you know my place is like a ghost town now. Yeah, after 4 o'clock, people don't want to walk the street no more.
Hey lady, I'll call you later. I had to stay away from the camera. Okay, baby.
No, my business is still there. Still on Florida Farm. But I have sleeping out my business every day. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I have sleep there.
Do you have any petitions with you?
Well, she tried to attack.
Well, they tried to attack him, and so that's afraid of her.
No smile.
We have 3 newscasts. Yeah, it'll be on all 3 shows. The 4 o'clock runs an hour. It's usually they put a piece of it in frame. It's an hour long.
Okay.
We've been getting your emails.
Like everything is done.
Okay, no smiles.
Now people gotta get the picture.
All right.
If you want to attach a name, yeah.
Channel 7 is here. Channel 7. KTVU News is here. All right.
Yeah, he came to me because of the whole Drivers United robotaxi fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is also up our alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the founder of Asians Unite. You gotta push that. Give me the signs that want this.
I used to be shy, but I've kind of done. We need to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Become an activist. So whatever, go with it. I know too much not to say it.
It was self-defense, staff, and he died later, but I almost was crazy. And they were like, and I took it to people other people, which then they refused to do things I did not agree with. And they still refuse to do it. And I can't punch out because I'm putting I am right here. Oh, there he is. Okay, but like, see me? Okay, see you.
Okay, so I get a pharmacy.
So what was your name?
My name is Juan.
And tell me, before we started rolling, you were telling me about how you used to be shy. You didn't speak about it.
Yes, I used to be. I'm an introvert, and just the problem with crime and the injustice and the targeting of seniors has become just a little bit too much, and just inspired a lot of us residents, just regular people, to come and speak out and have a voice to make sure that our city doesn't continue its downward trajectory and get some help from our leaders.
One second. So in this interview, also, the more passionate you are, just like you were over there, the
Right.
better it'll be.
Okay.
Okay, now you're speaking out. What was it? Was there some last straw, like you were robbed or a friend was robbed, or what happened?
I talked to a lot of the immigrant refugees, that is my community, that left our country and everything behind to find basic freedom and safety and opportunity and provide for our family and have a future. Well, that's all being taken away and being robbed by criminals that target the Asian community, especially because our seniors are vulnerable. We don't speak the language. A lot of us walk the streets and carry cash because that's the culture that we come from, and we are easy pickings. And it's really the failure of leadership at the top. Our mayor is missing in action. The council president is not there to help protect us.
And they catch these guys and they just let them go.
That's right. They're supposed to protect us. That's what the job of the DA is. But the DA is not doing that. What Pamela Price is doing is she's releasing many of the criminals that should be behind bars so that the public could be protected. Historically, we charge many more cases to protect the public. Pamela Price is only charging a third the number of cases that is annually charged by the prior DA. And that's just inexcusable.
You're very good, very passionate. Any idea why they are doing this? Is it easier for them? Does it make them any idea?
It's really the wrong direction, wrong thinking to think that you can somehow reform somebody who is a psychopath. Because what actually happens on the ground is the same serial murder is going around killing one family after another. Pamela Price lets serial killers loose on the community. First, they kill people in Fremont, in Hayward, and they continue to kill in Berkeley. The people who have talked to these psychopaths have chills running up their spine. And yet Pamela Price refuses to take action to protect the public and do her job.
Yeah, that's crazy. And how have you personally been impacted?
Everybody in the city is impacted. We can't walk down the street without worrying about our safety. Every day, people are getting mugged. Every day, we see broken car windows and our personal belongings stolen. Every day in this city, there are shops that are suffering because customers don't feel safe parking their cars there, which get broken into. Every day, we have restaurants that are closing. We have small businesses that are closing. We have families that stay away from shopping district, and retail is failing because crime is out of control. There's utter lawlessness and other lack of leadership from our electeds.
Yeah. What's your work? What do you do for work?
My background is about technology.
Okay.
Most of it is in cancer biology. As a side hobby, I also do some general construction work.
Cool. Many talents. Tell me about this recall that's happening now. Do you hope? I know they're trying to delay it. When do you hope to be able to vote this DA out?
As soon as possible. Every day, like I said, people are dying, and we hope that we can take action and vote in June.
Got it. And I think they say, the prisons are full. We are already doing the most with them.
They are not doing enough. Clearly, our city is failing. We are throwing money into ineffective programs without any metrics, any deliverable outcomes, any transparency. Supposedly to take care of crime, but every year the crime has gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And tell me again, now that you with your energy up, you were saying you started out shy about this and you knew about it, but you didn't speak, and now you are. Tell me your journey kind of to speaking out.
It started with me being an introvert, reading legislation and policy that didn't make sense. So at some point, I got up to investigate who's writing these failed policies that's hurting the residents and the regular folks, and what's being done to help the businesses and the community. And I realized that our electeds, many of our electeds, including our mayor and the city council majority, there's just simply, frankly, corruption. A lot of the taxpayer money, tens of millions, are thrown away to special interests, and nobody is taking care of the regular guy on the street.
When did you start speaking? Like, was it a year ago? Was it?
I started speaking probably 2 months ago.
Oh, wow. Well, you're already a very expert speaker for 2 months ago. You're very passionate.
Well, the issue is really raised, and it deserves a certain.
Yeah. And tell me about, and you don't need to be quite as loud as you are, it's up to you, but no, just because, over there is perfect. But you mentioned you can't walk down the street and be safe. Do you personally know people who've been impacted that you want to share their stories, or that you've seen? You know, we saw some of them today here. Are there any personal stories you want to share of other people or yourself?
Yeah, my van was stolen. All the tools inside were stolen, and that's not uncommon. This year we've had almost 12,000 car thefts, and those I've seen some statistics. Those cars that are stolen or used to commit other crimes. They're used to ram into storefronts that the thieves can grab the cash register and grab the goods inside the store. They're used for robbery, to assault other people. So the fact that we can't even pull over cars with tinted windows with missing license plates, because our policy is to defund the police and to decriminalize, abolish police, abolish jails. It doesn't work when you implement it. Unfortunately, Oakland is ground zero, and we're the test case, the guinea pig for failed policy, and our residents and our businesses suffer as a result. This is the type of city, the type of policy that America should not adopt. Learn from the pain and suffering of Oaklanders and avoid the pain that your community might know and suffer. The pain of the families who have lost loved ones to murder.
And you know, it sounds good. The people who support these DAs, these policies, say, well, we want to be nice to people. We want to give people a second chance. We don't want racism. Like, how do you respond to? It sort of sounds nice, but the result is not.
It's completely unrealistic. We have people who are criminals victimizing other people and harming them, and yet we let them loose on the unsuspecting public to commit crime. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, you're very eloquent.
I'm trying. It's just messed up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it
Let's stop here, people. Yeah.
Big corporate, big prison industrial complex, big this, big that, but it's not about big rights for people.
Yeah. How big of a problem is it? Like, you live here, you see crime, there's one person killed every 3 days. How big a problem?
It's bad and much worse than what people even know about. There's a lot of crime that goes unreported. And I used to work for Palo Alto Police Department, crime prevention. And I know that crime prevention works. It's not about just more police, more police. You can't just throw money at a problem. It takes a village. And we have to engage community policing. And that could take many different neighborhood watch programs, crime prevention. Just engaging our community. There's a lot of folks that want to step up, but no one's there to coordinate their efforts. And they could do that. We have the resources. We have the money. For example, here, Alameda County, they collect all the county property taxes. Well, when they're not doing their job and the quality of life declines, also, home prices decline, businesses decline. And that happens, it undermines the tax base. So it's a doom cycle, what happens. So what we're looking at is we have very ineffective leadership.
Particular case with this DA that people outside of your home relate to? Like, what's one of the most absurd decisions?
Well, I'll just look at, let's address her policies. She basically says, paraphrasing, that she wants to implement racial bias to make amends for past transgressions of racial bias. And two wrongs don't make a right. Is there a lot of socioeconomic injustice that needs to be addressed? Of course there is. But let's address it for that. Let's not give a free pass for criminals because they're a person of color. You do the crime, you do the time, whatever, there needs to be consequences. It's not time necessarily, prison, jail, but consequences there must be.
Yeah. Is there a particular case that jumps to mind that they dropped, that they didn't, that really...
It's not just one particular case, but Pam Price, what she's done, she removed the gun enhancement when it comes to sentencing. So now you see these little kids, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, skinny little kids, that otherwise they would not be able to commit a crime because someone would block them, grab them, subdue them. But because they're carrying a gun, and they have the gun hanging at their side, they come out, right? That stops everything. That's a game changer. So people are like, he has a gun, back off. You see? And so, no gun enhancement and favoritism for minors. They're doing adult crimes and they're not doing adult consequences. Right? So that major game changer alone, very significant. The other Proposition 27 about the amount when it comes to prosecution, that it's under about $950.
Yeah.
And folks they're just walking out with arms full of clothes.
Have you seen that yourself?
Oh yes, I've witnessed it personally. I've seen the customers care more about the merchandise and they have more disgust about the merchandise walking out the door than the store themselves. And let me talk about that too while we're at it.
Yeah.
There is corporate, commercial, retail crime prevention techniques that they can use. You can't have your cashier checkout on the far side of the store and your entrance and exit on the other side of the store, unmanned, no security. There's no crime prevention deterrence. What we want to focus as a community is let's deter crime. So that way we don't have to go into the person's committed a crime and we have to catch them and we have to prosecute them, we have to sentence them, then we have to warehouse them. Right. Let's be proactive about it. But here's the rub. Reactive makes money. It is a way that they're able to take our tax-paying dollars and repurpose it.
Yeah, crazy.
It's unfortunate. Look, I'm just the messenger. You don't like the message, don't kill the messenger. Yeah. But I've been in Oakland as a co-owner of an office building, a 7-story office building in downtown Oakland. I myself have personally arrested, citizens arrest of individuals where I've engaged them. I don't recommend that for all folks because I was younger then too. So you have to be skilled. You are taking your life into your hands. You don't know what may happen. So in the moment of passion, sometimes you do what you do.
Yeah.
But I've seen that, I've also been on the Oakland Housing Authority Advisory Committee and made suggestions, but they fell upon deaf ears. Yeah.
Well,
and that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are out here. Switching subjects totally to the driverless. It's about like the future of work. I was at the Teamsters thing earlier today, and they were saying that might put us out of work. They're trying to compete with us and lower our wages. How do you see driverless cars changing things?
Driverless technology, autonomous, these robo-taxis is a paradigm shift market. It's ushering in the new age of AI. So with the new age of AI, as you see, chatbot GPT is just killing it right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's all over the place, and chatbot GPT does not sleep. So it's constantly learning. We're feeding it all the information, and then it's being now even more selective. It won't even engage in certain topics that may incriminate itself. If you ask them about AI and its impact on the future of work, and what's the downside, initially it would have the discussion. Now, it's very defensive. So things are changing real quick. But here's the problem, is that this impact of the new age of AI that's being ushered in by the autonomous vehicles is a turning point that is really going to severely impact people on whole in a massive scale. This is viral. and it's happening now. It's exponential. It's like this. People think this is linear as far as a progression, but not when it comes to technology. Yeah, it's exponential and it's fast. It's viral.
Yep.
It's very quick.
Most people in the rest of the country don't even know that these driverless cars are already operating thousands of rides every day. So this is kind of the test of it. How's it working?
It's not. It's dysfunctional. They're not even providing a basic driving test for the vehicle, the autonomous robotaxis. So if they're not doing that, I mean, these vehicles drive worse than a drunken student driver. A drunken student driver would know better than to shut the vehicle down and leave it in the middle of the street. And that's happened numerous times because the vehicles overwhelm as far as the cell towers, and they need a lot of information, a lot of signal there.
Yeah.
So they'll just shut down. What's the problem with that? We get solar flares, there's an earthquake, and if we're too dependent on autonomous vehicles, then everything's going to shut down.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And in terms of, let's say 5 years from now, let's say they make these cars really good, they're no longer blocking fire trucks and all this. How do you see that impacting jobs?
Goldman Sachs said that automation, the AI, autonomous, all this combined globally was going to impact 300 million plus workers. Permanent displacement towards the future. And as I said, it happens very quickly. And when they're rolling out autonomous and self-driving technology, they're also introducing electrical vehicles. So it's making it more and more cost prohibitive for the average person to be able to afford their personal private transport.
Yeah. And let me throw you some arguments that kind of tech people make in favor of the cars. They say, 100 years ago, most of the country was farmers. There have been all sorts of jobs from horse drivers to elevator operators that have been replaced by technology. They found new jobs. Maybe they're gym instructors, maybe they're police officers. It'll just happen again with driverless and all sorts of others.
Right, to be reskilled, retrained, and then repositioned in another job. That was then, this is now. Even janitors are being replaced by robo-janitors. So what worked then is not going to work now. They use that argument commonly, and also too, they sell on safety. Safety, but they're not even at that level of safety.
Waymo claims they are. They say we have fewer accidents.
Waymo and these other companies, not just singling out Waymo because they're all in this together, they are very selective as how they report their data, and they claim it's proprietary.
Right. And they just shut down Cruise today from operating in California.
It should have been prevented from operating to begin with until it was proven that it's safe enough. It should be given a DMV standard driving test and see how it performs in the city. The DMV, here's the issue: the California Public Utilities Commission, they approve them. They're the gatekeepers, and they got them into the gate. And when it came to regulation, they've stated that it's up to the DMV to do that job. It's up to the NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is federal, to the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
They said that's their job.
Yeah.
But you cannot let the genie out of the bottle if the genie is going to do destruction. You have not engaged that, and there's other issues involved because when you're looking at the influence, it's just like they're taking pages out of Uber's playbook of how they ride roughshod over the transportation infrastructure and over society, and over the transportation regulators. So they push this out a lot faster than the regulators have any chance to regulate. So the regulators in transportation are way behind the curve.
Now, Uber is controversial, but a lot of people say, I love it. It's easier than having to drive in town. So maybe in 5 years, people will be the same way about driverless. What do you think about that?
Well, in
In 2014, the founder of Uber said that he loves driverless cars because he could fire Uber drivers. So we have to look at the human costs, the social costs, permanent displacement of workers. What are they going to do? What purpose are they going to have? Even if there was universal basic income, you have to have a purpose in life. You know, otherwise you get things like what we're talking about here today when it comes to crime and lawlessness, because there's no focus, there's no purpose.
Yeah, the techno-optimists, they say, you know, maybe we'll have, when we have universal basic income, or the robots will do all the hard work, humans can focus on art or YouTube videos or whatever. Do you have any hope in that vision of the future?
The utopic vision that big tech sells is a dream. And it's a big dream that benefits them. And that's the unfortunate part, because yes, I agree, it could be used to benefit humanity and society. But the folks that are controlling this in big tech, they have their hidden agendas and ulterior motives. And quite honestly, very obviously, it's profits over people. It's always been like that. It's unfortunate because a lot of great things could come from this. It could benefit a lot of people. But if we're able to usher in and shape the future of it, then we can make a difference together.
Yeah.
But they don't give us a seat at the table. I'm a professional driver, and I've been a driver with Uber. I've driven with 9 different app-based companies. So I know, and I've organized drivers since 2014. We were the ones that drove the California Assembly Bill 5, which says what a real independent contractor is. We drove that into existence. And so we've done a lot of work locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally too. So we're working with taxi drivers and Uber drivers in other parts of the world as well.
Yeah, interesting. What would you say to a tech person who says, it's understandable, but you guys are looking out for your jobs, and this would make so many people better off. You just need to look for new work.
It's easy for them to say because they don't see the consequences of that. There's been cases where mass suicide has occurred and drivers have started killing themselves. Because why? They took away their purpose. What else are we going to do? With Uber, Lyft, and these delivery companies, they specifically targeted recruitment of immigrants, low income, minorities, seniors, disabled, ex-cons, students. Why? Because these are marginalized folks, and they divide and conquer them because they don't have a united voice. Henceforth, the reason why I came into existence, the hashtag Drivers United movement, Alliance for Independent Workers.
Yeah, interesting. Do you see any potential way for driverless cars, let's say they improved them a lot 5 years down the line, for them to work together with people? Like maybe there'll be humans who will control them remotely when needed, or I don't know, humans to help them with the handicapped people, bring them into the cars. Do you see any symbiotic things?
What I see in the future of work for drivers is exactly what Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, stated. He said the problem is we have to get rid of the other guy in the car, which was referring to autonomous vehicles. And it was a rush to robo-taxis, autonomous vehicles. And right now, we got the displacement of taxis, but also reduced service for Uber, Lyft riders. Uber has a partnership with Waymo. So Uber has the clientele list, Uber has Waymo has the technology in the vehicles, the hardware. So honestly, they're making a lot of backroom deals. They contribute to political campaigns. They're one of the top contributors as far as lobbyists, monetarily speaking. They surpass like the Fortune 500, the top.
Do you have a message? Most of the country, people haven't even heard about this actually, just in San Francisco and Phoenix. A message for them, like as their local officials are considering adopting it.
people should be aware that technology, it can be your friend, but it also can be your foe. So it depends on who's behind it and what is their true intentions. You know, if they have ulterior motives and hidden agendas and it's a profit motive exclusively, and they're using and benefiting from the infrastructure that our tax-paying dollars created. So we have to hold them accountable. They have to get back. What they have as far as the projected future is not a sustainable future. It's very lopsided. Everything is shifted towards them. But there's also, I mean, there's other areas of concern about the ethical dilemma of a vehicle in a robotaxi having that power to determine who's going to live and who's going to die. If it's going to hit another car or hit a human being, a pedestrian or a dog.
Yeah.
You know, and how about the liability of that? Who's going to go to jail?
Yeah, interesting. Is there anything we haven't covered? We've covered a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's other concerns too. Cyber hacking of these vehicles, cyber terrorism, because the sophistication, if you could program it, you could hack it. And that's been proven time and time again. We've seen it in the news where these cyber hackers, well, they also can work as cyber terrorists. If you pay them enough, they'll do it. So, I mean, that's a big issue. Another discussion has not been touched upon is what about the EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies? You're riding on top of a huge battery. Okay, and that's not good as far as creating free radicals in your system and potentially cancer. You have the 5G. You're inside the compartment and you're being exposed to the 5G. The cell phone is classified by the World Health Organization to emit EMFs similar to that of a low-powered microwave. The cell phone. Imagine the size of that vehicle, and you're in that compartment. So you're being exposed to that as well. Another thing that folks are not aware of as far as discussing is that you could deactivate one of these vehicles by simply putting a cone, a traffic cone,
and
on the hood.
People have done that in San Francisco.
Right. We've collaborated with those folks. Safe Street Rebels. Yeah. And we've collaborated with those folks who've invited them to our actions as well, since we're the David against Goliath, if you will. But imagine someone with criminal intent, and they see someone enter a vehicle, an autonomous robotaxi, and they just simply walk up, put a traffic cone on the hood, vehicle is deactivated, then they could proceed to rob, rape, or even murder this person.
Scary, yeah.
Very scary. And not to also leave out of the mix that these can be used for transport of drugs and other materials, as I mentioned, bomb, whatever else, device. We don't know. So, the thing is, this is a public trust. This is the transportation infrastructure is the public trust, and we entrust the California Public Utilities Commission to be the custodian. And they're not doing the job. And they pass the buck on to the California DMV and NHTSA, National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration.
Yeah, and so as we mentioned, they just blocked Cruise. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you have any predictions? Do you think that's going to happen with Waymo, or do you think this is just going to keep going on the exponential?
Well, they're going to revisit and they're going to push. They have their connections. So I want to clarify, we're not against tech. We're just against tech that benefits the few at the expense of the many. That's really important that people realize that. Is technology, it's inevitable. We're not standing here like in the horse and buggy days, those folks saying, oh, those newfangled automobiles are just a fad. It'll pass. Look what happened. Right? So what we want to do is initiate and be a part of shaping legislation and providing a pathway so that we play a role in shaping the future of work for the driving industry. In California alone, 600,000 plus drivers in transport would be displaced. Just in California. If you look at nationally, because we do a collaboration as well with the independent truckers. And these folks are really neglected. They're kind of left in the shadows. But these folks do all the heavy lifting that a lot of people aren't even aware of. They just see that the grocery shelves are all filled.
Yeah.
It's because these independent truckers are driving and they're putting the priority of getting the goods, products on time to the location. They're very hardworking. A lot of those folks live in their vehicles. They got sleeper cabs, right? So take away their lifestyle. See what's going to happen. Some of them are former vets and gun carrying, card carrying NRA members.
Yeah.
They're not going to accept that. So the purpose of stating that is we need to start a dialogue. The narrative needs to come from the trenches.
Yeah. And do you see, can you imagine any way for this technology to work in a way that doesn't just help the few, but that also works with drivers? Because you were saying, you know, you want dialogue, a seat at tables. If you were the governor or something, can you imagine a way of threading the needle so it works for everyone?
Well, you have to invite all the key stakeholders and the folks that are knowledgeable but not biased, and basically spitball it and be hyper creative. And let's look at the operative word, sustainability factors. If it's not sustainable, next idea. But there has to be a true willingness and honesty in the good intentions here.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen yeah, they promise this utopia, the utopic vision of the future, a brighter future for all.
Yeah.
But what we receive in return is dystopic in nature.
I mean, you could imagine some kind of compromise, like Waymo has to pay a big fee that then goes to, I don't know, former drivers, driver retraining, stuff like that. What do you think about that?
That's an area that we've actually begun to discuss. Because you can't just complain about a problem or a challenge, if you will. You also have to think to create solutions. And you have to be a part of that solution and to provide a result, hopefully, from that. But you have to engage. You can't sit back and allow things to happen and then complain endlessly, because it doesn't matter at that point. Once technology is in place, as you see like Uber, they started by violating all these laws, but then they created such a demand for it, and people not aware of the human cost, social cost, and how they were undermining by workers, by misclassification of the worker, calling them an independent contractor, but treating them worse than a part-time minimum wage employee to have more rights.
But yeah, it's entrenched.
But it's been entrenched. They've been given a free pass and ride roughshod over society. Any other small mom and pop business, they can't compete with that. Why? Because they're able to take the profits that they make, that they didn't have to contribute to the employers, and actually to the employees' safety, employment taxes, and everything else that the FICA. And so they pocket that as profit, but they reinvest that in blowing out their infrastructure, and that's how they've been able to be so successful globally. Whereas everyone else has to play by the rules.
Yeah.
But remember I mentioned about their lobbying. A lot of money goes into that. Yeah. So I'm hopeful about a future if the narrative is driven from the key stakeholders and the legislators really pay attention. But they're getting lobbied by big tech, which even Governor Newsom received $10 million from Google in his 2020 campaign. And he was at the helm here in San Francisco when tech was getting major traction.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, we covered a lot here. Yeah, thank you for all that.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Yeah,
thanks for the support and coming out and covering.
Totally, yeah. Maybe we'll have two stories here.
Yeah, I think you